See what sold November 2023. In this income report video, you're going to see exactly what sold, how much it sold for, the cost of goods, and my net profit. The first thing that sold in November were these limited trouser pants. They were listed on October 26, 2023 and sold November 1st, 2023. So that was listed for 5 days. That was a quick flip. My cost of goods was $0 and they sold for $12. My net profit after fees was $9.05. Next was this Apperloth. It was like a moto zip-up jacket, faux leather, new with tags. It was listed October 18th, 2023, and it sold November 2nd, 2023. So it was listed for 14 days. That was another quick flip. My cost of goods was $0 for it, and it sold for $22. After fees, my net profit was $17.60. This Buffalo David Bitten was a knit sweater. It was listed on March 5th, 2023, and it sold November 2nd, 2023. So that was listed 237 days. So granted, I did list it in March, right at the end of winter, going into summer. So that is why I think it didn't sell. My cost of goods was $1.29, and it sold for $8. After all of my fees and cost of goods, my net profit was $3.76. These mucklucks were listed on January 3rd, 2023, and they sold November 3rd, 2023. That's 300 days listed. Those sat for a while in the closet. My cost of goods was only $1.29 for them. The listing price was $17, so after all my fees and cost of goods, my net profit was $8.62. This Eddie Bauer fleece was listed December 19th, 2022, and it sold November 4th, 2023. So it was almost a year in my closet, 315 days. My cost of goods was $1.29. It sold for $10. So after fees and a shipping discount, I did send an offer for this with a shipping discount. I only made a net profit of $2.78. But it's been sitting in my closet for almost a year, so I was happy to kind of move along with it. These AG Adriano Goldschmied, these are pretty cool pants. I actually didn't realize the comps on them until I came home and listed this item. And I listed this item on October 14th, 2023, and it sold November 4th, 2023. That's 20 days listed. My cost of good was $1.29. And I sold for $34. After fees, and I also gave a shipping discount, my net profit was $22.93. Then we have these seductive pants. They were listed October 26, 2023, and sold November 4th, 2023. They were only listed 8 days. My cost of goods was $0, and they sold for $21. After fees, I had a net profit of $16.80. This Susanna knit sweater was listed on March 5th, 2023 and sold November 5th, 2023. So it was listed for 240 days. My cost of goods was $1.29. And with all of my fees, I only made $1.96. So I barely made a profit on it, but it's been in my closet for a while. So I was happy to just sell it. Then this was a sale from a live show. It was an ink blouse and a Sonoma hoodie. The cost of goods for these items was $2.18, and they sold for $12. After fees, I made a profit of $6.87. Then there was this graphic tee that was also sold in a live show. My cost of goods was $1.09. It sold for $6, and after fees, my profit was $1.96. Then there was this Banana Republic knit faux wrap top, as well as this dip vest, which sold in a live show. My cost of goods for both these items was $0, and they sold for $12, and after fees, my profit was $9.05. Then we have this bundle that was purchased also in a live show. My total cost of goods for everything was $4.39. And after all of the fees, my net profit was $19.61. Then we have this BP sweater. This was also a live show sale. The cost of goods was $1.09. After all my fees, my net profit was $1.96. This was also a live show sale, and it sold for $2.18. And after all the fees, my net profit was $6.87. This was also a live show bundle sale. My cost of goods was $7.84. And then after all of the fees, my profit was $38.56. Averaging all those items together was about $7.25. So this was a higher average than my other live show sales. This was another live show sale bundle. My cost of goods was $4.39. And after all the fees, my net profit was $34.01. This was a bongo faux fur jacket. It was a live show sale for $10. My cost of goods was $1.09, and my net profit was $5.96 after all the fees. I just want to show you that you can have these odd ones that randomly just, say item cleanliness, shipping time, and packaging, but yet I looked at my shipping time and delivery date and everything was on time. You can see it was shipped on the 9th and it was delivered on the 12th. So I didn't understand that. The packaging, I've never had a complaint. And item cleanliness, that was a very clean item. We do have dogs in the house, but this item was basically brand new. And they also left a comment saying everything was good and I was waiting for you to comment on jackets. So I was very confused. So I just sent a message to this person and I simply just say, hey, thanks for your feedback. I do have a few questions so I can improve customer service. You mentioned X, Y, and Z, and I kind of explained what was going on as well. And sometimes you hear back from people and sometimes you don't, but I always do like to reach out because I always do look to improve and see what is going on. Next was another live show sale. My cost of goods was $3.27. And after all of the fees, my net profit was $11.13. Now, this was from my closet, this JM Collection maxi skirt. It was listed March 28th, 2023, and it sold November 6th, 2023. So that was listed for 218 days. My cost of goods was $1.35 for it. It sold for $10, and after all the fees, I made a profit of $5.70. Next is this J. Crew knit sweater. I did think this would sell pretty fast, but actually this sat in my closet for some time. It was listed for 245 days. And my cost of goods was $1.60 on it. And after all the fees, I made a profit of $22.40. So I was happy with the profit. It just sat for a little bit longer than I anticipated, but since I listed it in March and summer was rolling around, that's also why it could have sat for a while. Then this Zara turtleneck was zero cost of goods. I listed it on November 8th and it sold on November 8th. So that was a really quick flip to my surprise. And I made a profit of $10.62. Then we have this Desigual mesh top. This was sold on November 9th and it was listed on November 8th. So this was a 1-day flip, zero cost of goods. And my net profit for everything was $23.20. Then we have this dress that was listed on November 4th and it sold November 9th, 5 days listed. My cost of goods was $1.09 and my net profit was $10.91. This is a bundle sale from my closet and everything was listed at different times, but everything was averaged out, it was about 40 days listed for the items. My cost of goods was $3.56. And after all of the fees, my net profit was $19.76. Then we have this sale from Ave Viv. It was listed for 236 days. That's quite a while. And my cost of goods was 99 cents on this. So after all of the fees, I gave a shipping discount as well. I only made a profit of $2.04, but I really wanted to just get rid of the item. Then we have this H&M cardigan. This was listed November 5th and it sold November 11th. So this was a pretty quick flip to my surprise. It listed for 6 days. My cost of goods was $0. And after all of the fees, I also gave a shipping discount. My net profit was $7.07. This speechless mini dress was listed for about 45 days. My cost of goods was $1.29, and my net profit after all the fees was $6.76. This Rebecca Taylor tank top was listed September 27th, 2023, and it sold November 11th, 2023. It was listed for 44 days. My cost of goods was $0, and after all the fees, my net profit was $17.60. This pink rose cardigan was listed for 261 days. The cost of goods was $3. and it sold for $12. So after all of the fees, I made a profit of $6.05. This bundle was a live show sale. My cost of goods was $6.10, and my net profit after all the fees was $34.70. That came out to be about $10.20 per item, which is pretty good since I am averaging about $6 per item for a live show. So this one was a good bundle sale. Then this was another bundle sale for a live show. My cost of goods was $2.44, and my net profit after the fees was $6.61. This was also a bundle sale from the live show. My cost of goods was $3.66. And after all the fees, my profit was $31.54. This averaged out to be about $8.80 per item. This was also a live show sale. My cost of goods was $1.22, and I made a net profit of $7.83. This was also a live show sale. My cost of goods was $6.10, and my net profit was $19.50. Averaging that out, that was about $6.40 per item. So that was kind of my average live show sales pricing per item. This was another live show sale bundle. My cost of goods was $3.66, and my net profit is $17.94. That averages out to be about $9 per item. Then I have this Free People kimono. My cost of goods was $1.22, and my net profit after all the fees was $12.38. So I was very happy with that live show sale. This is a live show sale as well. My cost of goods was $3.66, and my net profit after everything was $10.74. This loft dress is also a live show sale. My cost of goods was $1.09, and my net profit was $5.96. This loft sweater was also a live show sale. My cost of goods was $1.09, and my net profit after everything was $1.96. So then we have another live show sale. My cost of goods was $2.44, and my net profit was $7.61. This was a nice big bundle from a live show sale. My cost of goods was $12.20. My net profit for everything was $43.80. This was another live show sale. My cost of goods was $3.66, and my net profit was $10.74. Then this was an item from my closet that was sold. That was listed 239 days. My cost of goods was only 99 cents, but I sold it for $6. I was ready to get rid of it. My net profit was only $2.06, but when I first started picking up items, this was an item I was like, oh, I should get it because one, it was in good condition, but ultimately it sat around for a while. It sold for really low, and I don't think I'd pick something like this up again. Not to say that I won't pick up the Loft brand, but just this particular item itself. So then this was a fun sale. This Urban Outfitters waffle knit was actually what sold in the live show for $10. And then she sent me a message saying she wanted to bundle a couple more items from my closet. So I actually canceled that Urban Outfitters and added it to a bundle for her. So then she purchased a nice big bundle after the live show, which ended up being $4.88 for my cost of goods. And then my net profit was $31.12. These cut from the cloth jeans were listed February 15th, 2023. They sold November 13th, 2023. They were listed 268 days, and my cost of goods was $3 for them. So my net profit was only $7.62. Then this was a bundle sale from my closet. Everything was listed around September 1st, so everything sat in my closet for about 74 days. And my cost of goods was $5.25, and my net profit after all the fees was $36.35. This was also a bundle sale from my closet. Everything on this was listed for a really long time. Everything sat for about 315 plus days. My cost of goods was $0 for it, so my net profit was $17.92. This H&M Richard Allen top was super fun, and I listed on November 5th, and it sold November 16th, 11 days listed. My cost of goods was $0, and my net profit was $9.02. Then this Baldini zip-up cardigan was listed November 4th and it sold November 16th. So it was only listed 16 days. It was a pretty quick flip. My cost of goods was $1.09 and my net profit was $8.89. This was a bundle sale from my closet and this sold, everything was listed for about 45 days. And my cost of goods was only $1.29. Everything else was from my closet or a family member's closet. And my net profit for everything was $54.77. Then this denim midi skirt sold. It was listed on November 8th and it sold November 17th. So listed for only 9 days. My cost of goods was 98 cents. So my net profit after all of the fees was $10.07. This Eddie Bauer Heritage Knit sweater is 100% lambswool, and I really thought it would sell for more, but this has been sitting in my closet since March 9th, 2023. So it's been listed for about 250 days. My cost of goods was $1.29. So when I got an offer for $10, I took it and I only made a net profit of $5.76. Then this was a nice closet sale bundle. Everything was listed for about 227 days. My cost of goods was $3.27, which gave me a net profit of everything about $42.36. These Gap maternity jeans were listed on October 17th and sold November 23rd. So they're listed 36 days. It was a pretty quick flip. My cost of goods was only $1.29 and my net profit was $9.33. This J. Crew dress is beautiful. It was silk. And this dress, I actually had a few offers previously on it. It was listed for only 59 days. My cost of goods was $1.29, but I did turn those previous offers down. And when someone recently liked it, I actually sent an offer of this $27 with a $2.02 discounted shipping, which gave me a net profit of $18.29. So I'm so glad that I did wait and did not accept the lower offers. It was like a $10 offer and I think like a $15 or $18 offer. So I'm so glad that I did wait on that. This was another one that I waited on. This was also listed for about 50 days and my cost of goods was $1.29 and they were lower offers as well, about $10 to $15. And I turned those down and I'm glad I did because it sold for $26, which gave me a net profit of $17.49. This dip dress was listed for 289 days. My cost of goods was $0 on it. So when I got an offer for $8 on it, I accepted it and I got a net profit of $5.05. This pure Jill knit sweater was actually sold in a live show and my cost of goods was $1.09, so my net profit was $2.96. And this Maurice's blouse and this Ayos blouse was a live show sale and my cost of goods was $2.18, which brought my net profit to $7.87. This was also a live show sale. My cost of goods was $3.27, which brought my net profit to $14.33. This was another live show sale, and my cost of goods was $2.18, so my net profit was $6.87. This Tommy Bahama pullover is reversible. When I did get it, I listed it 301 days ago. My cost of goods was $2. And I only made a profit of $3.05. They offered me $8 and I took it. It's been sitting for a while. I hadn't had any interest in it except for this one person. So I just bit the dust on it and took it. I still made a $3 profit, but I expected more from this, honestly, when I picked it up. Then I have this Calvin Klein Performance pullover. It was listed for 265 days. And this person sent me an offer for $16, which I accepted. So I got a profit of $11.20. This was a live show sale bundle. My cost of goods was $2.18 and my net profit was $7.87. This Lulu's bodysuit and universal thread sweater was also a live show sale bundle. My cost of goods was $2.18. My net profit was $10.62. This was another live show sale bundle. My cost of goods was $4.36 and my net profit was $18.84. And this knit sweater sold It was listed for 392 days. I listed it back October 25th, 2022. My cost of goods was $0 on it. So when they offered $14, I accepted. So my net profit was $11.05. Then this wet seal mini skirt was listed for 59 days. My cost of goods was $1.29 and my net profit was only $3.74. But I knew I wouldn't get much for it. This was a Banana Republic knit sweater. It was a merino wool and it was only listed for 16 days and my cost of goods was 98 cents. So I made a net profit of $16.04. Now, I did get a review back of just 4 stars with other, and I was like, what is wrong with this? Because it was such a beautiful sweater and in great condition. So like I've said previously, I do like to reach out, and I simply said, thank you for your rating so I can improve for future customers. What was the other that could be improved on? And they actually responded back to me and let me know that it wasn't anything that I could do, but it was because the sizing of the sweater was wrong. It could have shrunken in the washing machine, even though I did leave measurements as well as the size on there and he was able to see it. He is used to wearing size mediums and it didn't come into that size. And there was nothing wrong on my end, but he did still leave a 4-star rating because of the item. So sometimes when people leave a rating, it's not necessarily based on you, but the item. So that's why I always like to reach out. And what I did and what I've started doing is I let them know, and this person, since he paid for this item, I gave him a 50% off anything he wants in my store or a bundle that he gets, which he would definitely like to come back and shop again. And I keep a spreadsheet of this information with the username and offers I've done to people so I can keep track of this as well. And the marine layer button down was only listed 3 days. This sold super fast. My cost of goods was only $1.22 and my net profit was $17.18. Now let's go over all of November 2023 stats. So my total sales for November is $1,545. My gross profit is $1,129.55. And my net income after all of the fees, the shipping, the cost of goods, I walked away with $971.15. The total items that sold this month was 151 items. Now I am doing live shows as well and working on incorporating that into a weekly pattern, trying to do 2 a week, sometimes just as 1, but I'd really like to do 2 a week. And what it breaks down to be from that total would be from my Poshmark income from the closet sales is $523.38. And then my profit from the Posh shows is $447.77. And then we had an average sale price per item being $22.07. But when you break it down for my average net income profit, it broke down to be $13.87. And then when we're talking about the average sales per day, it comes out to be $51.50. And then the average net profit sales per day is going to be $32.37. So in my October income report, my goal was to increase my average net profit per item, which is about $8.73. And that increased to $13.87. So I did hit that goal between $12 to $15 of where I wanted to increase it to. And then I said I wanted to list about 250 to 300 items this month, which is about 10 items per day. And I definitely didn't reach that goal. I only listed 133 items. But let's talk about December and what I'm working towards in December. I would really like my income to hit anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. I mentioned in the last video, I would really like to do $100 a day, which would come out to be about $3,000 per month. And right now, when we saw in my stats, I'm averaging about $50 per day. So I'm halfway to the 100 mark. So let's see if we can increase that in December. And then for the average sales price per item, it would be really awesome to hit $20 per month, but I know the items I'm sourcing are not necessarily of the higher value of where I'm gonna get a bigger profit from it. So I'm gonna say $15 to $20 would be the goal rate of what I would like to sell an average per item. All right, so stay tuned for next month income report to see if I hit these goals or not, and then see the growth or not growth, depending on what happens in December. So I know, speaking about income, and especially if you're not at the level that you want to be at or the amount of money that you're making, can be hard to talk about, especially if you're on YouTube or Instagram and you see all these other resellers who are making thousands and thousands a month reselling. But you have to realize that they worked towards that. They didn't just go from zero to making thousands and thousands a month. So I want to slowly, gradually show you the growth as I go along the way and show you what it is like every month. So I want to hear from you in the comments. What are your income goals? How many items do you want to sell a month? How many items do you want to list? Is this something you just want to make a little bit extra money and do part-time, or is this something that you want to do full-time? Share it in the comments below so we can kind of all talk about this income openly, and also it kind of holds you accountable as well when you put that out there saying, this is what I want to be doing, and then let's see if we follow through with it in December.